let's be honest. Have you ever looked at S10, assimilate, and analyze data on your apprenticeship plan and just felt your brain kind of freeze up? Yeah, you're definitely not alone. So today, we are going to completely demystify this thing. We're going to break down exactly what it is, how you can get good at it, and most importantly, how to prove you've got this skill totally locked down.
So let me introduce you to Jody. She's a level 4 marketing apprentice over at a company called Stores, and right now, she's staring down this exact same requirement. And it sounds huge and technical and frankly a little scary. But here's the good news. It is so much more achievable than you think, and we're going to walk through it step by step.
Now, the great thing is, Jody isn't going on this data quest by herself. No way. She's got a fantastic support team to guide her. We've got Riedel, who's her marketing line manager, Adam, her mentor who's seen it all before, and Olivia, her amazing apprenticeship coach. Each one of them is going to play a really important part in turning Jody from feeling anxious about data to feeling totally confident.
Her manager, Rital, is the one who kicks the whole thing off, and she makes it super clear from the get-go, this is not about just ticking a box for your apprenticeship. At Stores, data is literally the engine that powers their marketing. They have to know what's working, what's not, and why. So Jody's mission, really, is to learn how to dig into that data, find the answers, and use them to make their marketing campaigns even better.
So, what is Skill S10 when you look at the official definition? Well, it's about gathering up data from all these different places, checking to make sure it's solid, and then analyzing it to find actionable insights. Now that's the magic phrase right there, actionable insights. It means finding things you can actually do something with. It's not about just collecting a bunch of random numbers, it's about collecting intelligence.
To make this whole thing feel less intimidating, let's just reframe how we think about data for a second. Forget about those complicated spreadsheets, and instead think about something way more familiar, like, say, cooking a meal.
This slide just lays it out perfectly. All your data, every website click, every social media like, all those sales figures, they're just raw ingredients. On their own, they're not really a meal, are they? The analysis part, that's you, in the kitchen, doing the cooking. And the final, delicious meal that you serve up, that is your actionable insight. That's the valuable bit of information you can give to the business.
So, what kind of ingredients is Jody going to be working with? Well, it's pretty much the standard toolkit for any marketer. You know, things like Google Analytics to see who's visiting the website, social media metrics to see what posts people are loving, and of course, all that rich customer data from their CRM system. Each one of these tells a little piece of a much bigger story.
All right, this is where Jody's mentor, Adam, steps in. He's the guy with the recipe for success. He knows that the best way to tackle a big skill like this is to just break it down into small, totally manageable steps.
And here it is. This slide shows the exact path forward. Adam gives Jody these 5 clear steps. You start with just understanding your data, then you collect it. You analyze it to find those golden nuggets. You apply what you've learned to your marketing, and finally, you show everyone how confident you are using it. See? Not so scary when you break it down.
Adam really hammers home this first step. Before you even think about opening a spreadsheet, you have to know what you're looking for. And, more importantly, why? What's the main goal of the campaign? What data do you actually have? You've got to connect the numbers you have to the question you're actually trying to answer.
So, after you've collected your data in step 2, you get to the fun part, in step 3, the actual cooking. This is where you jump into your tools, like Google Analytics or your trusty spreadsheets, and you start sifting through everything. Here's a tip. Don't just look for what you expect to find. Look for the surprises, the outliers. What's the story that data's trying to tell you? And this brings us to what is arguably the most important step of all. Step 4, application. An insight is pretty much useless if you don't do anything with it. Adam tells Jody that the entire point of this exercise is to take what she's learned and use it to make a real change, like tweaking an ad, changing a headline, or targeting a completely new audience. That's where the real magic happens. Okay, so Jody is learning how to actually do the work. She's getting good. But now her coach, Olivia, steps in with a totally new and really critical focus. See, it's not enough to just be good at data analysis. For her apprenticeship, Jody has to prove it. She needs to build up the evidence for her portfolio and get ready for that big endpoint assessment.
And Olivia asks the million-dollar question that, let's be real, every single apprentice asks. It's one thing to do the work day to day, but how in the world do you package that up so that an assessor can look at it and go, yep, check, they've totally mastered this skill?
Well, the good news is it's not a mystery. Olivia lays out the exact types of evidence that assessors are looking for, just like you see here. We're talking about things like screenshots of the tools you're using, maybe some short reports where you explain what you found, and these really important written reflections that explain how that data led you to make a specific decision.
To make it crystal clear, Olivia gives Jody this perfect, real-world example from her work at IBIS stores. Let's just walk through it. First, the insight. She looked at the social media data and found that video posts on Tuesdays were getting way more engagement. Next, the action. Simple, she shifted the content schedule based on that fact. Then, the amazing measurable result, a 35% jump in engagement. And the evidence? Just a quick screenshot and a short paragraph telling that story. That right there is a perfect piece of portfolio evidence.
So now, armed with all this knowledge, Jody is feeling ready for that final hurdle, the endpoint assessment interview. She knows how to do the skill, she knows how to prove she can do the skill. Now she just needs to talk about it with confidence.
So Olivia preps her with a super common question that she's almost guaranteed to get. The assessor wants to hear a story. They want a specific example that proves she can apply this skill in a real business situation.
Now, this slide is so important. Olivia shows Jody the difference between a weak answer and a really strong one. The weak answer is just vague, right? I looked at data and changed stuff. But the strong answer? It's specific. It is packed with data, and it follows that perfect structure. It gives a clear number, that's 70% bounce rate, it shows the action she took, and it gives a specific, measurable result. That is exactly what they want to hear.
So, what's the one thing to take away from all of this? If you remember nothing else, remember this. Your goal is to always show one clear, unbroken line from the data you found, to the insight you gained from it, to the action you took because of it, and finally to the result you achieved. That's the story they want to hear. Data, insight, action, result.
In the end, Jody's big aha moment was realizing that Skill S10 was never really about being a math genius. It's about being a better storyteller. It's about using data to find the truth, and then using that truth to tell a more powerful, more compelling story to your customers. So as you start to tackle this skill, just ask yourself, what story is your data going to help you tell?